Sydney!
So the room is gigantic.
It's the biggest you've ever seen.
I think it's going to work out.
Those who are going to NAC after this with me is our pool. You know who you are? Okay, great. When you come out, congregate by this pole. So that we, this pole. Congregate by this pole so we can go in one movement. Column. Very big pole.
So you was going to study anything media language? You did it. So then you learn everything about camera. And you did that in
Either we're in the middle of the table or we're on
I never was learning anything. Remember then I came to these days they were editing on radio using tapes. And then in Berlin they started to edit it on the computer.
We have a 50-50
And I was able to do that because I did a movie. I was not able to tape. I used to tape machines.
4,400.
44. And then
Like the family photos, 4,400.
We're not doing that.
We're all going to go down. Yeah, and so you guys can get a handle on
So
whatever.
they have us presetting at the next, at this week. You better check on that. Sir, can you find out what we're doing next?
It's the,
Oh, yeah, because I think the in-house video will be different.
Your idea is bigger than mine. The next thing we're doing,
Doesn't matter to NAC.
where are we going to be?
It's like
and then they told me, okay, you can try to go around and doing like a volunteer. And the guy is like, okay, you can do 1 month.
Kind of like right or left.
And after 1 month, I give you a job. You have to write. After 2 days, he said, like, the first month they made me only voluntary. But still they gave me 1 month.
Just prepare you.
We live our bag down here.
we should, right? Probably. That's smart.
What do we do?
Bag.
Try to get
Smiley? Oh, right.
I'll go together. That's why I was lining you guys.
Oh, I got you.
Hey, Danny, you guys asking questions? I should hydrate. Yeah, or not hydrate.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going, we're not going to go, we're going. I think a motorcade vehicle to
She gets her on her cars for it. That's right, she got two cat guys assigned to her just for the ring, but you see the ring she's got? Great, that's what I need to know. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me.
Definitely know where Evan stands.
Or not? Yeah.
Can you handle it? Yeah.
They're on Central European.
Yeah.
Right on
4 o'clock in the middle of the night.
And our call time was 4 hours.
We start laughing at 6. Well trained. Feel like it. Feel like it.
Any zombie.
Yeah, I did. Tape is still here, but
Sony makes it. I got it from Sony.
actually, I got
Please. My name is Brendan Smilowski. Yeah.
Sorry?
Let me know. I could email you the same.
Most handsome.
Oh,
It's like Logan.
yeah.
You know the 300
Yeah.
so light.
If you have questions.
For a better reliable.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Send me the
transmit.
picture.
Transmit.
Immediately transmit. Wow.
Handshake.
Nice.
And he
We're
earned
not,
Oh, wow.
doing actual
but they are like.
You know, this is Sony.
No editing for you.
I hope not. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
It works different.
He's a good guy.
Behaves different.
Yeah.
And legit.
Completely.
Hard to get him to talk.
I didn't
But
realize
he's
that.
very, 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 very real.
Hard to get him to talk.
Not that talk. No, about the actual sports stuff. He's not a bragger.
So it's not easy to
You know,
use
most of our
the
Tiananmen
new
Square stuff
cameras
is his.
with the old ones.
And he's been doing it that long.
Different system.
What are we talking about?
Okay, that part we should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like this one. I don't need the new one, actually.
Yeah, aside from the show, it's not much better.
Yeah.
The file is they look the same. You can't tell first of all. They just look the same.
Okay. Yeah.
They're not bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in his DNA. And it's funny.
Oh, the hard life.
He calls me a lot for tech help. Yeah.
He has a summit tomorrow again.
Make every effort.
Where Brussels?
Yeah. Yeah, he's an acquired taste.
In Brussels, it's all about summits.
I think he's still paying for his kids, some of his kids' schooling. Yeah. Because, you know, he's 70. Yeah. I mean, he's 70. Which is amazing. I mean, he and I are the same age. I mean, I can't believe I'm 70. Just turned 70.
So do you live in Washington now? Still in Boston?
Well, Brazil.
You're not going to move?
That's all that formaldehyde I drank.
That's a mood in question. Yeah. You know Mandy, right? Can you say hello for me to her? To Mandy, right?
We'll still say hello.
How's everyone doing? No one needs water, right? No
Not
one's
yet.
It's been a minute. I just want to make sure everyone's good.
Are they going in first or we're going? We're going.
Our transition camera and your transition camera.
ahead of us.
Tell me it's a narrow doorway.
Okay.
And then you're gonna sneak underneath.
Can't go in individually.
So is Waka going in too? Sydney?
Yes.
Oh.
It should be open press. So they should be straight.
So Waka's going in with them as well.
No. So
For this.
Transmission.
yes, we're doing transmission camera, stills, TV.
Not.
Then we already have a preset camera.
Okay. Just no. They don't know that. So should I tell them that now?
You know you have a preset camera in there, right?
For
Yes. So it's gonna
the
be
White House?
it's gonna be transmission camera going in first, stills going in second, TV going in third.
We gotta do the
No
national
way.
family photo.
Any photos right now?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The cards, wait.
Can you just say no? Wait. What else do you need?
Travel.
Last moment. Minutes to wait.
This is the order.
Yeah, personally, I'd rather do preset.
Transmission, TV, stills, travel, TV. Right.
It's gonna work out.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Jullie luisteren naar hem?
Klein maar groot. Foto's smerven.
Thank you, Sydney. The confusion was who's going in where. You didn't know why.
Yeah.
With.
With the first group.
Moet je even aan denken.
So it's
We'll be fine. Two people.
I think Alex, are you kneeling?
yes, stills are
This is
kneeling.
what happens when we don't go in right away.
Always do.
This could be another. If you want it, just say the word. Snap of the fingers.
Just relax. I think it doesn't work. Everybody
This is exactly why.
Everybody watch out.
Yeah, Brian. Who knows what we're gonna get. Thanks, Brian.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
My mood dropped like 40%.
I have half a brain cell.
What, from the thing?
Uitsnijden is niet, ik wil niet.
I did 5 weeks of basketball.
Vertel eens met me niet begrijpen. Zei, nou, dit is niet
You were on the other side.
verderop zit. Maar ik geef daarna meteen.
So that's a start.
Dat had kunnen snel.
It's not that big a court.
105 meter. 105 meter. Zomaar mensen die echt alles.
Zeg maar, ze van de berg op de stuur altijd nooit
Nothing broken. Nothing broken. That's what you meant. Is anything broken?
Ze begrijpen mij niet.
Nothing's
Zij komt
broken.
zo kort op neer.
Ja.
Deej said
Ik had
she just
twee
like got a
niet
ladder,
foto's, de andere twee niet erop gegooid.
put it in front of him.
Ga jij maar zweten. En werken.
Die stuurt.
Yeah,
En probeer sturen, ja.
he told me.
Sorry.
Oh, we were in a sizzle. We were in a sizzle. Oh, he told us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right.
At least it was me and not her and Jacqueline both up there together. You would have jumped off the scissor. Or you would have just jumped off the scissor lift.
Ja, maar dan wordt het natuurlijk meer de Oh, je bent best.
What?
In the group chat?
Yeah.
Sizzle lift, folks. Ik ging gisteren meteen aan mijn foto's rondzetten.
Yeah.
Ja?
I put Kevin and Larry between me and her. I made a nice big buffer.
Eerst wat ze zeggen, de meisjes die schoenen gaan het niet door. Goedemorgen, heb je dat meegekomen? Ja, tot de moeder.
Like Carlos?
Ja.
I had Mandela. They're probably noise on me. He's working on it.
I'll check.
Lovely. I put my earplugs in. Nobody talked for 3 hours.
It's a quiet holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good shot. And I was like,
That's so annoying.
can you imagine? Look at my
Okay, I'm perfect.
Hurry up and
that's
wait.
a good basic
I know.
courtesy thing, you know.
I mean, a little bit is fine.
Don't comment on it. I think she said something on one of the trips. She said, oh, you found that? Close to 4,000. It's a little warm.
Yeah, that's a little warm. Little warm. 4,000?
That was it. Huh?
No.
I'm not going there.
No.
It's too warm. Huh? No.
Alto. Leave it alto.
Maybe it's
Auto blue.
Pushing.
So no, 4,000. It is now. Even if it isn't.
From those words coming out by mouth, it's 4,000.
And is it better? Maybe it's because of late.
Yeah. The meeting's starting. You guys must
Good. Going at the bottom. Next one. On to the next
plane,
one.
plane is almost leaving.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, we gotta leave to make it to the departure.
Yeah.
Netherlands is really nice.
Really not.
It was.
100
City
degrees
of
at
Amsterdam,
home.
don't go
100,
there.
40 degrees.
Way too crowded.
Really?
48.
Well, stay here then.
Yeah.
So nice here.
The beach looked great. Oh, yeah.
I could do another night in that hotel.
Yeah. We're supposed to leave.
Yeah, but I think it would be nice to just sit.
30, something like that, local
In
time.
order to leave.
Leave at 6:30, we arrive at 6:30.
I know, it's so weird.
Miracles.
It's so weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
minute went
My
by.
room was like that.
Were you Air Force
Yeah.
One or not?
Very weird. And no signs.
hold
to
on to
guide
the
you.
wing.
Yeah.
It took me
Strong ones make it.
Pointed me to the wrong side.
That's you.
What's that? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we had
That's
that
the hardest
quick
thing in the
departure.
world. Like, at the end of the day, you get out of the elevator, you face that wall of numbers, and you look at your key, and you're like,
dumbfounded.
you're
It worked 24 hours.
Totally. That's what I did yesterday. I looked at it several times.
like, I can't tell you how many times you walk into the hotel
2
and
minutes away.
you just want to like,
24 hours.
you stand there and face
If it's
that.
the Middle
Someone
East or
just
something,
got
it makes sense to work, you know,
Seriously, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, we keep it
It was
eating.
lovely. That was the most beautiful.
Als je in Portugal loopt, dan is dit
That's
naar
why
het
we had to
beeld.
leave early. We angered the summit guys. It was too nice. The weather was too nice. The location was too nice.
Dat is altijd een
See, we discussed that last night.
Oh, yeah.
And you weren't working 24 hours. If you're falling asleep in the sun, you were working 24
We
hours.
discussed that last night.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were allowed to drink that.
I told them Dion has
Nuance.
Dion has 3 middle names.
Yeah.
She does?
Yeah, Dion Laurence, Rebecca Monique, Schneeberger. But we think the story is
How many
2
years?
of them are the names of her father's ex-girlfriend.
It's like, I mean, there's nothing. And then the city.
Oh, I had that. That was required learning.
Required learning. Wow. Good man. Good for you.
It's also a good password. Her initials, so you get fine. The LRMS is like a good start to a password.
We'll track clients, bank account, and 401k and everything.
Property, all the stuff awesome.
That's a priority. I don't have music.
Liquids management. Liquids management.
No, we don't have
You guys said that in like 45 minutes. That's fine.
And you don't have an anglicized name.
Is this like 2 minutes with no
Is it independent?
Which makes
My
sense.
name is no middle name.
Is this imploding or impending?
NMN.
So it's 2 and 2 as far as
Irene, non-Jack.
H&J.
I think that Tegan was a
He went
little
home,
hurt
right?
that I did not want to
You all sent him home, I hope.
And I was
What's
like,
he on?
Pell, P-E-L-L. It was a Pell Grant. Same.
Same family?
I don't think so.
Well, Dion's last name is Schneeberger.
Well, it's very
Yeah, Swiss German. But she didn't want it, but she had the chance
He had the
to
butter
shorten
chicken
it.
like everybody else
Didn't take it.
same buffet.
yesterday.
No, it means snow mountain person. Schnee is snow and Berger is the person that lives on a mountain.
That's what he does. I always go for the raw. There you go.
Still fun first.
Big weekend.
Sir.
See you on the plane.
Everybody's on the place?
They travel. They have better seats than I do.
Mr. President, what are you telling the Prime Minister about your goals for NATO and Article 5 today?
We're with them all the way. I mean, if you take a look at the numbers, we're with them, and they have very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%. That's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%. So I think it's going to be very big news. NATO is going to become very strong with us, and I appreciate doing it. Perhaps you want to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me first, before I go to spending, I just want to recognize your decisive action on Iraq.
Thank you.
You are a man of strength, but you're also a man of peace. And the fact that you are now also successful in getting this ceasefire done between Israel and Iran, I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
And I think this is important for the whole world. Then on spending, it's absolutely true. I want to state here, without President Trump, this would not have happened. In 3 stages. When you became president in 2016, 2017, you forced Europeans and Canadians to pay more. At this moment, the result of that phase is 1 trillion extra aggregate defense spending by the Canadians and the Europeans. Then came phase 2, when you became president in January last year. Phase 2 is that all other countries, not yet on 2%, have now committed to the 2%. This is the old goal from Wales in 2014. 7 were not on 2%. Some were saying somewhere in the 2030s. Now this year, all of them, including Canada, including Italy, including Belgium, they have all now committed to the 2%. And now comes the big splash. Today, we will decide to go to 5%. We have to keep ourselves safe for our adversaries, but also because it is fair to equalize with the United States. With this 5%, the Europeans and the Canadians will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So this is not about American taxpayers paying more. This is about Europeans, Canadians paying more. And again, this would not have happened. I'm really saying this here. And some people might criticize me, but then when I speak with them, they all say, yes, you're right. This would not have happened if you would not have been elected in 2016 and re-elected last year and back into office in January. So I want to thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great victory for everybody, I think. And we will be equalized very shortly, and that's the way it has to be. It's going to be a lot of money, too, a lot of defense.
Trillions extra.
Yeah, and we have a great relationship, and we've had a great relationship from the beginning. Highly respected man, and yeah, we appreciate you being here, too, everybody. We really do. We have a tremendous group of people on my left and a tremendous group of people on my right. They might be even better than my people. I don't know. Let's have a fight. Let's figure it out. Anyway, but we appreciate it, and we've had a tremendous relationship, Mark and I. And we've really worked on this subject for a long time. When Biden was here, it just died like everything else died. And now it's, you're going to take, I guess, a vote today, right?
Absolutely. Today we will decide unanimously to do it. That's my absolute conviction.
So we can't talk about it until the vote's taken, because sometimes, you know, strange things happen with votes. But I think you're going to
I'm not too worried.
I think you're going to do very well. Everyone's very happy about it. Go ahead. Yes.
Mr. President, how is the Iran-Israel ceasefire going, in your opinion?
I think very good. I think very good. Israel came back yesterday. I was so proud of them. Because they came back, you know, they went out because they felt there was a violation, and technically they were right, but it just wouldn't have worked out very well. And they brought the planes back. They had gone on to another journey because there was a little bit of a violation, and I said, you got to get them back. And they came back, and it was a great thing, and it's going very well.
Mr. President, what is your response to the foreign minister saying he still wants to enrich nuclear?
Hello, Katie. She's so great, this one. Any question she asks, I'll answer. Well, maybe I better not say that. What was your question?
What is your response to the Iranian foreign minister continuing to say Iran will enrich uranium and pursue nuclear weapons?
Well, I don't know if they've said that, but I'll tell you, the last thing they want to do is enrich anything right now. They want to recover. And we won't let that happen, number one. Militarily, we won't. I think we'll end up having somewhat of a relationship with Iran. I see it. Look, I've had a relationship over the last 4 days. They agreed to the ceasefire. And it was a very equal agreement. They both said, that's enough. They both said it. But no, they won't do that. The last thing they want to do, Katie, is enrich. They're not looking to, can you imagine after all of that, they're going to say, oh, let's go and do a bomb. You know, there could be a day in the future, and then somebody else taking our place will be saying, don't do it. And maybe they won't do it as well, I don't know. But they're not going to have a bomb, and they're not going to enrich. And we believe all of the stuff is down there. We don't think they had nearly the time, because to get that out is a very difficult thing. It's not like moving a package or taking this carpet up and moving it. It's very difficult. It's very dangerous to do. We believe it's all down there. We had a tremendous victory, a tremendous hit. And because of that, I don't think they would have been down there, because they knew we were coming. When they know we're coming, they're not going to be down in that, 30 stories underground. So, no, I think it was just a tremendous victory for everybody, including Iran. Look, they've got a country, and they've got oil, and they're very smart people, and they can come back. Israel got hit very hard, especially the last couple of days. Israel was hit really hard. Those ballistic missiles, boy, they took out a lot of buildings. And they've been great. Bibi Netanyahu should be very proud of himself. And they've really been great. But they're not going to be building bombs for a long time.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to the intelligence reports saying that the Iranian nuclear sites were only partially devastated, not entirely?
Yeah, well, they said it was actually, the report said it could have been they don't know. I mean, they did a report. I could have Pete talk to it because his department did the report. They really don't know. I think Israel's going to be telling us very soon, because Bibi is going to have people involved in that whole situation. We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration. When you take a look at the ground above, don't forget, the flame is all underground. But everything above, if you look at the before and the after picture, everything above is burned black. The trees, everything. There's one building, but that's a building that sunk substantially into the granite, so that, the fire goes right over it. I believe it was total obliteration. I believe they didn't have a chance to get anything out because we acted fast. If it would have taken 2 weeks, maybe, but it's very hard to remove that kind of material. Very hard and very dangerous for them to remove it. Plus, they knew we were coming, and if they know we're coming, they're not going to be down there. There aren't too many people that are going to be down there. Pete, do you have something to say about that?
Well, Mr. President, when you talk to the people who built the bombs, understand what those bombs can do, and deliver those bombs, they landed precisely where they were supposed to. So it was a flawless mission.
Flawless.
Right down where we knew they needed to enter. And given the 30,000 pounds of explosives and capability of those munitions, it was devastation. underneath Fordo. And the amount of munitions, 6 per location, any assessment that tells you it was something otherwise is speculating with other motives. And we know that because when you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report, it was preliminary, it was low confidence, all right, so this is you make assessments based on what you know.
And it said it could be very devastating, very serious.
Moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterated. So this is a political motive here.
Is there a leak investigation?
Of course. We're doing a leak investigation with the FBI right now because this information is for internal purposes, battle damage assessments, and CNN and others are trying to spin it to make the president look bad when this was an overwhelming success.
We had a tremendous success, and this is the New York Times. I call it the failing New York Times. It's going to hell. And CNN, which, as you know, very few people are watching. And you would think they'd do the opposite. You would think they'd want to say, this was an unbelievable success. And the thing that hurts me is it's really demeaning to the pilots and the people that put that whole thing together, the generals. That was a perfect operation. And when you look at the holes, and this was done from 52,000 feet, there was no moon, there was no light, and those 3 holes are right together. And also, and nobody talks about this, we shot 30 Tomahawks from submarines, in particular one submarine, but that was 400 miles away. Mm-hmm. And every one of those Tomahawks hit within a foot of where they were supposed to hit. Took out a lot of buildings that Israel wasn't able to get. We took them out with Tomahawks. We don't even talk about that. This was a devastating attack, and it knocked them for a loop. And you know, if it didn't, they wouldn't have settled. If they had won, if we didn't take it out, they wouldn't have settled. Somebody mentioned that to me last night. If that thing wasn't devastated, they would have never settled. Marco, do you have something to say?
No, first of all, on the stuff about the intelligence, this is what a leaker is telling you the intelligence says. That's the game these people play. They read it, and then they go out and characterize it the way they want it characterized, and they're leakers. This is the game they play. So that's number one. Number two, here's a fact. The conversion facility, which you can't do a nuclear weapon without a conversion facility. We can't even find where it is, where it used to be on the map. You can't even find where it used to be because the whole thing is just blackened out. It's gone.
It's wiped out.
It's wiped out. Then we dropped 12 of the strongest bombs on the planet right down the hole in 2 places. Everything underneath that mountain is in bad shape. And I refer you to the statement of the IAEA, Mr. Grossi. Yes. You know what he said? He said there was Iran, the way it looked the day before the attack, and what their nuclear program looks like now. 2 very different things. They are way behind where they were just 7 days ago. Now, anything in the world can be rebuilt, but now we know where it is. And if they try to rebuild it, we'll have options there as well. But all this leaker stuff, these leakers are professional stabbers. That's what they are. They go out and they read this stuff, and then they tell you what it says against the law, but they characterize it for you in a way that's absolutely false. There's no way Iran comes to the table if somehow nothing had happened. This was complete and total obliteration. They're in bad shape. They are way behind today compared to where they were just 7 days ago because of what the president did.
Marco, can I just alert you to one other aspect? So the great thing is you took out the nuclear capability of Iran. This was crucial. You did it in a way which is extremely impressive. But the signal sends to the rest of the world that this president, when it comes to it, yes, he's a man of peace, but if necessary, he is willing to use strength, the enormous strength of the American military. So I think that signal to the rest of the world, this is far beyond Iran, is extremely important. So let me also point us to that aspect of what happens.
They went down, Iran went down to the site afterwards. They said it's so devastated, and they settled when they saw what we did to it. And frankly, if we didn't do that, they would have had a lot of ammunition to keep going. They wouldn't have settled. Somebody brought that up, and 2 Iranians went down to see it, and they called back, and they said, this place is gone. So it's just fake news by CNN, which has got no ratings. It's a failed network. Anybody here from CNN, by the way? Because you're a really disgraceful network. MSNBC, I think, is actually worse. But they're all pretty bad. But yours is good, Katie, I'll tell you. You know what Marco reminded me? He did such a nice job there. It was 9 years ago I had to debate this guy. He was not easy. I think he even got better. But when you were into your little thing, I said, this is what I had to debate this guy. You think it's easy to debate him? It's not easy.
How long do you think that the Iranian nuclear program has been put back by these strikes? Years or totally obliterated?
I think basically decades, because I don't think they'll ever do it again. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take their oil, They're going to have some missiles, and they'll have some defense. I think they've had it. I mean, they just went through hell. I think they've had it. The last thing they want to do is enrich. They've been trying to do it. By the way, it's hard to enrich. And, you know, when you look at a site like that, very, very hard to build. Very, very hard, very expensive. They spent trillions of dollars trying to do this thing, and they didn't come up with it. And we're actually getting along with them very well right now. But had we not succeeded with that hit ended the war. That hit ended the war. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing. That ended that war. This ended that with the war. If we didn't take that out, they'd be fighting right now.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
If the Iranians do rebuild, would the United States...
If they rebuild?
Would the United States strike again? And I have also a question about Russia.
But I'm not going to have to worry about that. It's gone for years. Very tough to rebuild because the whole thing has collapsed. In other words, inside, it's all collapsed. Nobody can get in to see it because it's collapsed. You can't go in to see a room that has, 10 million tons of rock in it. And the tunnels are totally collapsed.
But if they rebuild?
Well, they've already looked at the tunnels. This was an unbelievable hit by genius pilots and genius people in the military, and they're not being given credit for it because we have scum that's in this group, and not all of you are. You had some great reporters, but you have scum. CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum. The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick. And what they've done is they're trying to make this unbelievable victory into something less. Now, even they admit that it was hit very hard, okay? But it wasn't hit hard. It was hit brutally, and it knocked it out. The original word that I use, I guess it got us in trouble because it's a strong word. It was obliteration. And you'll see that. And it's going to come out. Israel is doing a report on it now, I understand. And I was told that they said it was total obliteration. You know, they have guys that go in there after the hit, and they say it was total obliteration. And, I don't want it for me. I want it for the pilots. I want it for the military. They did such a good job. If you were in the Situation Room with me, with the generals and all of the people that did such a good job, and then they get demeaned by these idiots at CNN who can't get ratings, the place is dying, nobody wants to even waste their time going on their shows. So they form with the New York Times, who's dying also. Without Trump, you wouldn't have a New York Times.
And then just changing gears to your meeting with Zelensky later today, can you give us any preview of what the two of you might be discussing?
No, well, we'll discuss the obvious. We'll discuss his difficulty. He's got a little difficulty. Zelensky, he's a nice guy. I mean, I'm going to meet him today. I don't know. I assume we're going to be discussing Ukraine.
Yes.
And it seems like the most likely.
Is there any restart talks there or anything that you might do?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, I've spoken to Putin a lot, and he actually was very nice. He volunteered help on, as you know, on Iran. I said, no, I don't need help on Iran. I need help on Russia. Okay? I said, do me a favor. Help us on Russia, not on Iran. But he was very nice. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. I think progress is being made. I think great progress is being made on Gaza. I think because of this attack that we made, I think we're going to have some very good news. I was talking to Steve Witkoff, who, by the way, is terrific, and who knows more about this subject than anybody, the subject of what we were just talking about. He was on last night with Jesse and with Laura and with Sean. And boy, Susie, he has a great take on it. He just explains it so easily. He's really very knowledgeable. But he did tell me that Gaza is very close.
Mr. President, just one follow-up on Iran. Both you and Secretary Rubio and Hegseth mentioned the leaders. But can you clarify, is the intelligence correct or is the intelligence wrong?
Well, the intelligence was very inconclusive. Okay. The intelligence says we don't know. It could have been very severe. That's what the intelligence says. So I guess that's correct. But I think we can take that we don't know. It was very severe. It was obliteration. And you'd think that a media outlet would say, isn't that a great thing? I mean, more importantly for the pilots, for the military, you take their guts out. You take their absolute guts out. They had a tremendous attack. It was a complete obliteration. The other team, the other group, Iran, said, let's stop this. And you know what? Israel said it too. Very smart. They fought like hell, and then they said, let's stop. And they're going to build themselves. And I really see it as sticking. I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language to
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I think we have to join the others.
Yes, we're going to join some other group. Yes, thank you. Katie, one
Just one last question. Do you believe
she's so good, but she only
Thank you, Mr. President.
She used to be very difficult, but now she's... Go ahead.
Do you believe that this strike on the Iranian nuclear program will lead to the release of the hostages in Gaza?
I think that it helped a little bit. It showed a lot of power. Yeah, I think it helped. But we're going to get separately, even before this, we were very close to making a deal on Gaza. I think this helped, yes. Okay, thank you, Kid.
Thank you,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Press.
Thank you, Press.
Thanks, guys.
Standing there at the door.
It's not bad. Very low key. Hey, can we hire him on our team? He's done a good job today. We were friends from the day one. He knew exactly how to play me.
Oh, you knew how to play me.
Yes, on and go to bar. I said, you're the most incredible leader anywhere in the world. And then it proceeded to get $950 million.